Welcome back, everyone. As classes get back underway, high school seniors may find themselves under more pressure than ever. They're juggling the pandemic, their grades, trying to get into college. I mean, there is a lot going on for them right now. So how do you balance it all? Well, let's get some information from someone who knows. Joining us right now is Ibrahim Firat, Chief Educational Consultant at Firat Education. Good morning to you. I'm really glad you're here to chat with us this morning. I have a high schooler, and I'm already seeing what's happening with the kids who have gone back to online school. Some of them are really struggling, even if they made great grades before. So what is going to happen here with these kiddos? Because maybe their grades aren't up to par as what they usually are.
Yeah, so the greatest challenge or the ambiguity for this year's admission cycle is the test optional admissions movement, applying with or without SAT/ACT scores. Those who have SAT/ACT scores are asking, should I even submit my scores? Those that don't are asking, should I risk my health trying to take one this fall when I know most colleges are test optional? Another great challenge for this year's admission cycle is the uncertainty surrounding tuition and financing a college education, which have always been a challenge, but more so now with college lockdowns and virtual learning really surfacing the value of a college education during and post-pandemic.
How do you feel like this at the end of the day will truly affect college admission for these kiddos?
Most colleges follow a holistic approach to reviewing an applicant's file, looking at all aspects of the applicant's profile, not just one or two factors such as GPA and test scores to make a decision. This holistic approach is now more important than ever, given the uncertainties such as test optional admissions and financial aid. Therefore, students should expect to spend more time on the factors of admissions that they can control now, such as their college essays, optional statement on how COVID impacted their life. It's hard to go back and change the average GPA or the classes you took, but it's easy to put context to those numbers and factors in the application process. And of course, you got to recognize that what would normally be a safety school to get accepted to might now become a more of a target or a reach school, given that in-state or local college applications will also skyrocket.
And what do you think schools, different universities will be looking at? Because let's face it, usually, like you mentioned, they're kind of looking for the whole package. They're looking for students who volunteer, who hold down a job, who are still making good grades. But a lot of parents like myself, I just don't want my child to work right now because I'm worried about him being out there in public. I'm even fearful for him to volunteer. So what do you tell students right now who are just spending so much time in their homes and they're not able to build this beautiful package of themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it is, in fact, a multi-million-dollar question and the enigma of college admissions. However, my main advice for students is to provide plenty of context and information in their application. For example, there's that optional section on the applications asking about how you're impacted by COVID-19. You've got to fill it out. You may not have been physically impacted by the virus, but like you said, you don't want to go out there and risk your life by volunteering or taking up a job or starting a new organization. There's still plenty to talk about to describe your personal situation, your mental state, and how you got through a tough time. The more context you can provide to college admissions officers, the more opportunity they have to read and digest about you and put a context to the numbers or the other factors of admission. And you've got to trust that admissions officers have been training since March for this application season. They are not looking for holes to deny you, but rather ways to accept you and see you succeed.
Do you happen to have any advice for parents and teachers during this trying time for these kids? Because I know they are really feeling the stress, especially if this is their last year in high school. How can we help them?
Well, the parents, grandparents, teachers, advisors should remind the students that there are over 4,000 colleges out there and to not get hung up on the top 20, 50, 100 and popular colleges, as we call them. It doesn't matter the name or the rank of the college. What matters the most is where you're best fit and how you can excel. So therefore, you target those colleges and you do everything possible to apply and position yourself for those colleges.
Well, thank you for taking time today. You seem so reassuring, and I really hope that this will make families feel a lot better. Great to chat.
Thanks for having me.